Welcome back to New Amsterdam Radio, the podcast for creatives. It is I, the mayor, Flobo Boyce, in the mayor's office, hanging with people who are taking creativity and entrepreneurship to new levels. Now, if you're a follower of my social media platforms, you know I have no hair on my head, but my guest knows all about that, though. Please welcome Tiffany Anderson to the show. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
Well, I'm good. It always could be better, but I'm being able to hang out with people like yourself, entrepreneurs and creatives that make me push the needle and inspire me to do other things. So I can't complain about that. So I got the news from your rep that you are considered a natural hair care expert. Now, what does that mean, especially in 2023, where it seems that everyone claims to be an expert, but you are a legit one?
Yes, so I am a trichologist. I've been a trichologist since 2008, and a trichologist is the study of hair and scalp disorders. And so, to understand like the chemistry of hair and the growing of it, you have to study it. And a lot of people, I'm sure, just take other people's advice and stuff. But I literally study the layers of how to grow hair and how it comes out
Mhm.
and how to keep it, the hair on your head.
Right. So let's take a step back. When did you realize that this was a path that you wanted to pursue as a career?
I've been doing hair for over 20 years. And I used to be in a company of people that were experiencing severe alopecia. And so that's when I learned that hair is an esteem builder as well. And it really affects how you feel about yourself. And so I wanted to change that narrative. I wanted to make people not have to go through this. And so I learned trichology. I learned the products. I started evaluating, instead of just styling hair, I started evaluating and keeping it healthy. I started evaluating what makes it grow
Right.
and
Well, I
how to
mean,
make it. Yes.
over 20 years experience, which is commendable, but I felt like hair education was a lot different back then. So when you decided to go down the trichology route, like what was the challenges that you came across when you at the start of your journey?
So, and when I first started as a cosmetologist, understanding that cosmetology is the use of chemicals, and then trichology is the study of hair and scalp disorders. And
Mhm.
so, as well as trichology too, is a preventive method. So everything that we do and that I share, far as in the trichology realm, it's all preventive things. Like if you had a disease or something, like the doctor is if you or not really the doctor, but a herbalist is going to tell you how to prevent these things. And so that's what I do. And a lot of times when people come to me, they have tried everything. They have went to people that um, trichology was out of their scope, but they still spoke on things that they really didn't have the information or the accurate information on how to prevent. And so it progressed. And
Yeah.
so I just wanted to reach more people as far as helping them prevent some of these conditions and stuff. Because even like when you're styling doesn't make you feel good to wear your hair down. You're just covering things.
Right.
Mhm.
Well, let's talk about the plight when it comes to people of color and their hair. So this is a quote from your book, "Hair Therapy: Cures and for Growing Your Beautiful Natural Hair," available now on Amazon. And you say, "Quote: Some of us will transform our hair into an appropriate hairstyle because we think it's the extra incentive needed to obtain a higher position in corporate America," which is something I agree with. I've seen brothers and sisters who had locks having to cut their hair, say, "I'm getting a real job now. I have to change." What's that like? Basically, re-educating the public about what's considered "quote unquote" appropriate when it comes to hairstyling.
Um, I think it has to do with like when I do my clients' hair. A lot of people, some clients I have, they think that if a child wears a hairstyle, they can't wear the hairstyle. They think it looks childish or kiddyish, or it doesn't look professional enough to be in the corporate industry. And so far as how I address it is I let them know that it's just a polished look, like it's levels of skills of people doing hair. So, like someone with a lesser skill, a child doing hair is not going to make your hair look as an experienced adult doing hair, or as they would say, So, um, when it comes to our hair in corporate America, I just think that we have been made to feel uncomfortable about our hair and how,
Sure.
yes, and so we're uncomfortable about wearing it, being comfortable far as like the textures of it, the style. So we're combating so many things. We're like, oh no, it doesn't look, because we just been made to feel uncomfortable so many times about our hair. And I do women that are so gorgeous, like appealing to the eye, and they will literally think that they are not based off of the texture of their hair or what they've been told. And
Mm,
so that goes into like, and then you get to your work, and then you have a, like, say if you just wear your natural hair, or afro, for example, and then at work, you're also being told that no, this is not acceptable. This is
right.
not, and so I just address like a lot of those insecurities. I also help you to feel comfortable about the styles that you wear, because it's all on the inside, and how we've been made to feel, like I said, when it comes to our appearance, period, let alone our hair, it just makes us uncomfortable, and it makes us not feel comfortable in the styles that we really want or feel comfortable wearing. Like, think about as a male, like if somebody, you don't have any hair, and somebody said that that's not acceptable, you have to wear a wig, and you like, all right, I gotta wear a wig every day, because we do not, in this company you have to have hair. Do you see how
Right.
that is like? And
Right.
then
Right.
it's nothing you can do about it. Like, my hair has chose to not grow anymore, but they put that pressure on you, and it's just an uncomfortable feeling. And we have to. I try to help a lot of my clients and customers know, like, on, and when I do the hair, they're like, oh, I can wear this, and because they're thinking about like themselves doing it. Like, I can't do this on myself, but we also can, stylists can do hair too. And then you have some stylists that just wants to, if I don't want to put a weave in my hair, if I don't want to wear a wig, I want to be able to wear my hair and still feel comfortable and accept it.
Mm.
And that's where I come in at.
So talk to me about that side of it. So you have the wealth of knowledge, and a lot of people probably must keep it to themselves. You know what I mean? But you decided
Mhm.
to make that your career and in your business. Like when you decided to make that jump into entrepreneurship, that you can like have a bit of a group meeting with your inner circle. Was it kind of like a middle of the night? No, I'm just going for it. Like what was the moment you decided to go? Look, this is the path I'm gonna do for earnings.
I saw the need and I saw the lack thereof. So when I came into the industry, like in the early 2000s, everything, I came in as a cosmetologist, like I said, as a braider, and then transitioned to a cosmetologist. And
Mm,
what I was seeing was just a lot of cosmetology minded people, and not really people that knew how to navigate through hair. So take this for example. So for me, a good hairstylist is someone who knows how to do your natural hair, not someone who knows how to put in hair or cover up hair,
mm,
if that makes sense. And so a lot of cosmetologists in our industry, they did not know. And unless you were getting a perm, unless you were getting a weave, unless you were getting a press, they did not know how to do hair. And
yeah.
so I saw that, and I wanted to um, navigate that industry. I wanted to embrace it. I wanted to help us know that it was other alternatives that we can do to our hair, instead of just applying chemicals, instead of getting extensions and things like that.
Yeah, I was actually perusing the social media channels and actually have some of your stuff here. We'll put that in the show notes. And I talk about chemicals, and we were talking about one of the more premier chemicals used in hair care products over the last like, almost 100 years, and that's lye. And you had your thoughts and feelings about how potentially destructive lye could be if used in the wrong hands. And I always wonder this from the outside because I lost my hair at 21 years old. I had a shave out at 24. I was trying to do the comb over like I was a mafioso dude. It didn't work out. But like the risk that people take when
Mhm.
trying to mat their hair to fit a certain narrative must be a kind of psychologically pressure for some of your clients.
So definitely. So when it comes to chemicals, what helped me to, and mind you, this is very interesting too. You're going to laugh, because when I realized that relaxers are not supposed to touch your scalp, that literally was an epiphany for me. Like, we abuse relaxers. It's even when I realized the reasons they're called relaxers is because it's not to straighten the hair. It's only to manage the hair. And so
Mhm.
that helped me understand, like, we are abusing the
Right.
relaxer. It's touching our scalp. It is what you see now, the risk of it. And so for me, when my first year of being in a salon, I got bronchitis. So
Oh
now
wow.
people are getting, that's just from inhaling. I wasn't even applying them. That's just from being in the shop for it probably it not being ventilated properly when we have our black beauty salons and stuff like that. Like, all of that stuff, our culture is not taking into consideration, even when it comes to like these things, like these cancerous things. I had a patient that was a client that was very dear to me, and she like got breast cancer, and it was so aggressive to where she ended up passing. She went blind. She had these three beautiful kids. And I'm like, it just made me aware and made me adjust and pay attention to what I was doing. Like, even in my salon, opening my full service salon and stuff, and seeing if I was being a benefit, an asset, or if I was causing these things. And
Yeah.
so for me, just like gaining bronchitis, and I am a healthy person, I don't smoke or anything, just from inhaling the chemicals. I didn't even use them in my hair.
Right.
And that's how like aggressive those, that can be. And so I, even with transitioning, I wanted to, I always, I put this in the book too, I'm like, do I want to be a counterfeit hairstylist, or do I want to be a real hairstylist? Like, that's a chapter too, because you have to, in any field, you have to decide, are you going to, do you just want to make money, or do you want to help
Sure.
the culture? And
That
so for me, I wanted to help the culture. It's not just about money. And there's so many other avenues that I know that I can go about with making more money, but I just cannot do it because I just don't agree with it. I don't believe in it. I would never put relaxers in children's hair. I would get literally cussed out because I
right.
wouldn't do it. I would get cussed out when I would say no to some of these things. And because people feel like if they're paying you, you should do what they want. And so
Right.
I would be like, no, you could go to someone who does that. I don't do that. And so I have been combating these things like for a long time, and taking the whip and the,
Right.
the not from my own people, because people feel like when you do something, or if they're paying their money, you should be able to get what you want,
Sure.
and they
Well,
don't want to respect the boundaries.
I mean that's a very important crossroads that a lot of, I would say everyone, but a lot of creatives come across, where it's like you have a talent, you have a skill, and there's that customer's always right. I gotta finish the job versus, hey, look, this doesn't sit right with me as an artist, and I wonder what was those early combative episodes like. Like, how'd you like evade, or did you confront them head on? Like, how'd you build the confidence to be like, no, I'm not doing that.
It really, like, even when I look at it and stuff today and stuff, right, it literally is it makes your own community not trust you when you say no to stuff,
Hmm.
because we come from a trending kind of culture. And so if you're not doing everything that everybody else is doing, then when you set aside, like, you go outside of your lane, then you're frowned upon. And so I got that a lot. Like, my finances suffered from it, my business suffered from it, until now people are respecting it. So all through the years where people were doing what everybody else was doing and making the big money, I wasn't, because I was going against the grain. When the people were coming to me, they were I was the last person. So because I was the last person that they were coming to, they thought I was lying to them, because everybody else without the experience that I had was telling them, "Oh yeah, just put grease and water in your hair. Oh yeah, just do that." And when they came to me, I was telling them the truth, but they didn't want to invest in me because all these other people were lying to them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so,
But
and
you
so
stayed resolute, and you're here today, which is a good sign. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. And people are seeing, like, they're looking for and I always respected the hairstylists that respected their scope, the stylist, and they would refer people to the trichologist. Just like a doctor, for instance, take for the doctor knows that whatever's, like, say you have a condition that he cannot cure or don't know what's going on. So he sends you to a specialist. You respect people like that. Instead of him trying to make money and just give you medicine and stuff, that doctor really wants to know what's going on with you and want you to get the care or the treatment that you really need, opposed to just trying to treat the topical symptoms and things like that. And so that's why I always respected stylists like that knew something was outside of their scope and would refer their clients to me, because that's how it's supposed to be. Like, we can't do everything.
Right.
And so we're supposed to learn from each other and build from each other and grow from each other so that we're not going in circles.
Well, that's a very interesting perspective, because you'll sometimes on the show you'll have people seeing the opposite, like, "Oh, I wear 1,001 hats," but you're saying, "Oh, look, I could do multiple things," but there's a point where you got to call in an expert in a subject field that you may not be well versed in, which is pretty cool to see.
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly. Exactly.
what does the empire, if I could use that word, look like now? So you consult with clients, you have your own product line, and you also have the book division. What does it look like to be part of Tiffany Anderson Inc.? Like, what does that look like? What are your verticals?
Today, I feel like I am more valued in this industry, because I feel like in the hair industry, we've always been put to compete, to pit against to compete with each other. And I don't feel like it's a competition. I think everyone does something different. And if you don't know something, you should ask. But a lot of people get intimidated because they feel like if you don't know something, you're looking bad in front of your clients. And again, just that knowledge and that growth has helped me in my business. Like, it's certain things that I will not do. And
Right.
so people respect that. And when you find people that respect what you do, then then they're going to share it. And because they share it, it's going to help you progress and build your empire and, your legacy and what you want it to be and what you have worked so hard for it to become.
Oh, that's a good point. Tell me more about Tiffany's Natural. Like, I'm looking at the social for here, and there's a line of high quality hair care products. What was the decision to go into the actual product side of the business as well?
So one of the things with the products in the product line is I've always wanted to, I believe in, like we just discussed, telling people the truth. And so I've never, ever been a fan of using things or products that did not work. And
Okay.
so in researching and being a trichologist and studying, I have studied what products that work. I've studied what ingredients goes into the product that will give you the benefits of hair growth, that will give you the benefits of um, hair growth in conditions, like if you have dandruff, if you have alopecia, if you have, like, that will bring the hair back. And one of the products that I chose and that I choose, they cater to the things that go on with us losing our hair. So one of the things that I touch on is our pH level. A lot of times our pH level, when our pH level is off in our body, it can trigger male and female pattern baldness. It can trigger alopecia. And a lot of times physicians, they don't talk about this, because if you are on a medication, that is going to change your pH level.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
they're not going to say, oh, yeah, well, don't do this, because you may need the medication. But it's other things that you can do to bring your pH level back down, to make sure your hair and your scalp is getting the oxygen that it needs to promote growth and things like that. And so that's what my watercress oil is. It helps with oxygen. And everybody is like, it's a miracle. It's not a miracle. What it is, it's 100%. Anything that I use is 100%. It's not diluted with other ingredients. And that is very, very important when trying to cure anything, and when trying to, you need the highest dosage, you need the highest consistency. And so I use, all of my ingredients are 100%.
Yeah.
And that's also why I don't say, oh, miracle is miracle. It's not. It's authentic, because it's 100%.
Okay, so now, Ms. Anderson, you do a lot, right?
I do.
How do you balance the time you need to say, have your speaking engagements, write chapters of your book, see your clients, do the quality control on your products? Like, how do you juggle all of that? Do you use certain apps? Do you have a team? Like, what's the secret sauce?
I do have a team, which that's who connected me was my team. I do. I have a great team. I have a team. Even with a team, you have to have someone that believes in what you're doing. And I am very grateful of the team that I have behind me, and that is willing to share and is willing to promote and stand by. What I do, that means a lot. It means a lot when other people believe in you. It literally helps your motivation. It helps your determination. It helps your vision come to
Yeah.
come to fruition. And so, yes, I love my team. I love my support system. I value them. I love my family. And to me, that will come back full circle.
I love it. Know your stuff, make the jump, have a team that supports you. All good things for those who may be contemplating their own journey into entrepreneurship or creative work. And it's New
Mhm.
Amsterdam Radio. Before we stop down here, I got some questions, right? Some questions we ask all our guests who come through the show just to get to know you just a little bit more. Number one, though, do you believe in days off? And if so, how do you spend them?
I do. So I am a mother first.
Give it
In
up.
spite of I am, you know, I am a mother first. And as much energy as I do put into my business and helping people's hair goals and dreams come to pass, I also do that with my children. I am blessed to have two boys and two daughters. Um, my sons, I have a 29-year-old going on 30. I have a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, and I have a 6-year-old. And my 12-year-old she is a chef, and she just cooks amazing.
Yeah. Really
Yes,
cool.
she does. My 14-year-old is a future baller. He's a scientist. And
Okay.
then my 6-year-old can do everything in her words.
Okay. That's great.
And
Yeah.
so trying to build upon that legacy and to just let them see, because again, your family has to see what you're doing so that they can believe things for themselves. And what's a blessing and for me is that they get to see, like when you have a person like Black History Month, and you get to most of the time we can go outside, we could say Martin Luther, other people that inspired them. But for me, I'm grateful that my kids can say that I inspired them as well. I'm
Yeah.
added to that to that elite
Right.
elitism. And so
What
I'm very grateful.
do you partake in junk food? And if so, what's your favorite piece of junk food?
Oh my gosh, I am such a sugar fiend, Flobo,
Ooh.
and it's not good. So we talk about like our hair and stuff. And so literally being a trichologist, like remember, it's the study of hair and scalp disorders. It's also the study of what we consume, because in order to grow healthy hair, you have to have a healthy inside.
I want to thank you so much for being on the show, New Amsterdam Radio, the podcast for creatives. A lot of insight that can help people who are maybe contemplating their own foray into entrepreneurship. But now is the fun part. If somebody wanted to connect with you, follow you online, purchase some of your products, learn more about your story, how do they go about doing that?
And so my Instagram is I am Tiffany Anderson. My website is www.tiffany'snatural.com. My Facebook is Tiffany's Natural. My Twitter is Tiffany's Natural. And my TikTok is Tiffany's Natural.
Oh wow, TikTok. My TikTok game is terrible. Is yours better than mine? I hope. Like, what's on TikTok?
So I just have been told to get more acclimated and connected with I have had a TikTok, I think maybe for a year, but because the algorithm is different. And so I'm trying it out. I like it. I do like it because let me tell you, that algorithm will build your self-esteem as well as that hair will. That hair growth will. Because
Well,
it's
good
like,
to know.
ooh, people know me. People like what I'm pushing.
Oh, that's what's up. I want to have you
Yes,
back on a
yes.
future episode if we can. Just be able to
I
see
would
your
love
story
to.
and watch it grow. Thank you so much for taking time out here to be on the show this week.
I appreciate you so much, Flobo, for having me. It was a pleasure meeting you, and I'm grateful always.